Hi, Meera. It's a
Hi.
pleasure meeting
Emma.
you. Today we are talking to Meera Hegde. Meera Hegde lives in Bangalore and she started work when she was just 17 years old, and she did her graduation along with her work. She first joined in at Amex, American Express, and then she continued working in an NGO called Christian Children, right, Meera? It's Christian.
Christian Children's Fund.
Christian Children's Fund.
Yeah.
Okay. And then she took a sabbatical so that she can be with her kids. But then, having worked from such a young age, the void, took over, and she wanted to get back to work. And from there onwards, for the last 30 years, she's been working in different NGOs and ASHA, including, where she has just joined ASHA in 2020, June and July rather. And she's been working for ASHA as a teacher, as a volunteer teacher, and also as a student coordinator. In ASHA, she is supposed to be considered to be an excellent resource person who brings in a lot of volunteers in, and as a is a very she's a very important part of ASHA, where she is really gelled in and got a lot of resources to ASHA. So, Meera, would you like to add something? Have I covered about your background, or is there anything else you'd like to add, Meera?
No, I think you've pretty much summed it up well, Emma. Thank you.
Oh, great. Meera, let me start by asking you, what inspired you to join ASHA, first of all?
As you have mentioned, volunteering has become a way of life for me. And during the pandemic, most of my voluntary work came to a standstill because I had to, be in the location where I work. So I had this time in my hands, and I definitely wanted to put it to use. And a friend of mine shared a link, and I think it was just what I was looking for. So working from home, and that's how I got into ASHA.
Wonderful. And what actually do you feel special about ASHA? Do you think that you work in so many NGOs? What is it that makes you feel that ASHA is different, or is there something that it stands out for you in your experience?
I think that one-to-one connect with one child is really makes it very unique, because wherever you work, you are actually working with a group of, especially when working with children is concerned, it's a group of children. You don't ever get to know one child as closely as you do with ASHA, and yeah, I think that's something very special about ASHA.
And is there anything to do with the volunteer enrichment program? And do you find a difference in how they, develop their volunteers and work with them?
Absolutely. And I think the credit goes to Meera and Kanti here, because I noticed there's a lot of they really keep in touch with the volunteers, and they always make the time for you to if you have any issues, you can always go to them. So they're very reachable, and that it's almost like a friendship that you build with in ASHA. That is not always there in other organizations. So that is a big difference I find here.
And do they have any different kind of enrichment programs for the volunteers? Do they train them? And are there some extra sessions? Not only the training, for running the program, but are there other sessions? And how does ASHA enrich their volunteers?
Yes, so one is that we have this meeting with the other volunteers in which you get to share your challenges and also maybe share your experiences. So that is you get to meet interact with other volunteers. And the enrichment program, there've been a couple of them in which I have participated. One is a public speaking one, which I really enjoyed because that is something I needed to, work on. And secondly, yes, I also did a, Kannada learning program. Yes, so I really appreciated it because, yes, again, that's quite unique to ASHA, where, they take the time to also see how to enrich your volunteers' life.
Amazing, amazing. That's
Yes.
fantastic. So now coming to your work with ASHA. So
Yeah.
you are teaching a lot of students, right? And so what is the level of the students in the sense, what level are they in the ASHA levels as of now? And what background do they come from?
So actually, I've been assigned one child. I've been focusing on this one student.
Okay.
This you want to know the background of
Yeah,
this child?
I'll just a general background, not to
Okay,
detail.
so she's a migrant worker's daughter from West Bengal. They have moved to Bangalore. Mother is working in some 5-6 houses. So this child, she's 13, and when she moved to Bangalore, she stopped her education. So it's she's a dropout from the 5th standard because, of course, she studied in Bengali, and the parents couldn't afford, or it didn't fit in here during the pandemic.
Okay.
So this is her background. And when I started teaching her, she was assigned as level 1, but I realized that it was pretty much 0 level. So I had to almost start with phonics with her.
Okay.
The medium of, this thing is, so our communication is Hindi. She's able to write Hindi.
Okay.
So yes, that's the background.
Okay. And how do you take her classes? Is it a Zoom call or a telephonic conversation? How is it?
It's a WhatsApp.
It's a WhatsApp call. Okay.
Yes.
So, but not a video call. It's a
No,
audio.
not a video. Not a video.
Yeah, it's an audio WhatsApp call. Oh, wonderful. And I would just like to ask you, like, what works with her? What are the things that you feel has worked with your student, your plans, and what works the best? And what challenges do you face? So I would like you to follow the challenges after what works. Yeah.
So the first step I had to do was to strengthen her phonics. Because English was something that she probably did in school, I don't know, as a third language maybe, but what I really had to start with is strengthening her foundation. And that was something that has really stood by us. Because once she got her phonics, reading became easier, and spelling she's excellent with.
Super.
And so also reading big words, she can manage to break it up and read it accurately. So that has been one of the things that I adopted. Secondly, her vocabulary, because she did not know a single word in English. So even, basic like is, are, they, them, everything, and there's a lot of confusion about that. So I gave her the chart of this 100, frequently used words. And we spend a little time on that every day. Later on, as she progressed with her reading, yes, it was a very big challenge initially, because her pronunciation is very, vernacular. So, trying to get her to pronounce correctly was a bit of a challenge. And then, of course, comprehension was not there at all, because every word was alien to her.
Okay.
So it was
Completely
like almost
alien language.
yes. So it was almost every sentence had to be explained to her. So slowly her comprehension improved. And yes, so what are the tools? What is your next question?
Like I was just asking, what are the challenges that you face? And so again, this exactly that you are also leading to. So what were the strategies that you use, the teaching strategies that you use, looking at the challenges that you faced with her? And like you rightly said, that you took her back to 0 level and got back to phonics and worked on it. So on a day-to-day basis, how do you plan your strategies and lessons, keeping her in mind when you go for your class?
So I have a chart actually, which I work on. And other than the levels which we follow and the exercises, we also have a little conversation. Every day I introduce her to a little bit of conversation and try to get her to talk. Or at least reply, or at least repeat after me. Initially, it was like that way. Secondly, I realized that this child has got no exposure to English. She doesn't hear the language anywhere in her environment. So I started sending her videos. and ask her to listen to them. So even this video selection, I had to actually go through it, because a lot of words, the conversation she would not be able to follow. So I had to make sure I had to keep it very, very simple, basic videos. So that is something she enjoyed, the color, the story, whatever she managed. And in the next session, I would also ask her, what did you understand of that? Most often, she would actually create her own story out of it. And then, I would, explain it to her in brief so that she could watch it and understand it better.
Correct.
Then secondly, yes, other than introducing her every day to a little bit of conversation, as she went to a higher level, I introduced grammar to her. Basically, when are is used, plural, singular, and various other, very, very basic grammar.
Basic grammar.
So I'm not a, sort of a qualified teacher, but when one of the things that I like about ASHA is that while they, provide the resources, they give you the freedom to tailor it to your student's needs.
Okay.
So that works well.
So you use your own strategies, not a structured lesson plan, right? It's not a one fit for all lesson plan kind of a thing.
No. I mean, while I follow the resources, but yes.
That's
each session is make a little tweak it a bit, I'd say. Yes.
So it's like, it's actually teach each child the way they want to be taught is
Yes.
what is the basic structure that is being followed.
Yeah.
That's amazing. So how do you see her growth, Meera, from the time you started till now? So it's almost going to be 2 years now. And I think it must be 2 years since you're working with her.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is the impact that you feel she's had, and how is she coping with other things, and is she able to relate to the outside world with the language development that she has had?
Actually, my student, I think a lot of credit goes to her, because she's been a very, very diligent student. She almost never misses her classes. And the first year, I think we rarely ever missed a class between us. If she was traveling, she would, she would take her mobile with her. If I was traveling, I would take, and, we would make up the classes. So we really almost never, missed any classes. So yes, so she was very interested. And also her grasping power was very good. Her memory was very good. And her thirst to, learn. She even, knowledge, even whatever little things she learned from the lesson, everything was new to her, because she hadn't really been exposed to any form of formal education. So so every lesson was something, a discovery for her.
Wonderful.
So that was what made it very interesting. And over a period of time, we developed this wonderful bond with each other. She would understand my moods, and I would understand her moods. So, yes.
Yes, I think, it grows. But not looking at her and not seeing her in person while you're taking the classes, what did that ever deter your, flow of thoughts or the way you worked with her?
Not at all. Because it didn't make a difference.
Amazing, isn't it?
Yes.
And we keep talking
but
about.
I would ask her actually sometimes where she's sitting and what is an environment, because sometimes she would be in West Bengal and in her village, and then she would tell me, how she's sitting on the roof of her house, because there's no disturbance, and she would tell me about what she's growing around. Yes, so she would actually create a image for me.
Beautiful. Such an interesting conversation and interaction, isn't it? Yeah. So has there been any time, Meera, where you have planned something and then, you've seen that it didn't work in the class? So what did you do? Did you have something up your sleeve to, change your strategy at that time?
Yes, actually, I think towards the end of last year, in fact, she had some, I realized that, what is it, the pattern of our session, there's something, she underwent a change. And then I realized yes, one of the things that is that I've also been in touch with her mother. So so I could understand her better, and the mother is also like a friend to me. And the one thing is that, yeah, they both of them are extremely appreciative and very concerned about the classes, and both of them take a lot of interest. So yes, there was a time when she really slackened, and I needed to know the reason for it. And then I realized that she was going through some health issue. So that affected her. She had some mood swings, and obviously she's also coming into this adolescent phase. So those were a couple of very challenging months we went through. And yes, so I had to also change my strategy.
Yeah. So basically, also take a look at the background and talk to the mother and figure out what is the problem.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Thank you, Meera. It was really amazing talking to you, and I think it's such an interesting work that you're doing. Wonderful. Thank you very much for giving your time to discuss and share about how you are involved in ASHA and what you do with ASHA. So, would you like to add something more to this conversation? If you want to say a few lines about what you feel about the whole thing.
Yeah, I think this is something I recommend. That's why I've brought in so many friends and relatives, is because it's such a rewarding experience, giving your time, especially to ASHA. I found, it's something that is anybody can do. And yes, so I would really suggest that everybody come forward and do this.
Thank you, ASHA. Thank you, Meera, for this lovely, positive view about ASHA. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Emma.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye-bye.